On today's Locked On Nationals, we take a trip down to the Nationals farm system and who could be some of your breakout prospects in the year of 2025. I've got three of them right here for you.
You are Locked On Nationals, your daily Washington Nationals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. And of course, I'm your host, Ryan Clary. You can catch me over on Twitter at RyanClary11 and as well as the show page at LO_Nationals. For all your latest Nationals news and notes, make sure to check us out over on Twitter. And of course, search up Locked On Nationals wherever you get your podcast, whether it's on Apple, Spotify, and of course, over on YouTube as well. A little bit later on in today's show, guys, we are less than 2 weeks until spring training. I cannot wait. I will be heading down to West Palm Beach in about a month or so. And so we'll have a ton of good episodes for you of covering the Nationals during spring training. And of course, maybe some player interviews as well. So you'll want to stay tuned over these next couple of months as we get into baseball season. Second segment, the Nationals, according to MLB Network, they have got a top 10 first baseman, and now it's time to bring up some questions about Nathaniel Lowe, the newly acquired first baseman for your Washington Nationals. Will Nathaniel Lowe have a big year for the Nats? I think we might be in for a little bit of a treat here over at that first base position. So we'll discuss that in the second segment, but we start off discussing some of the breakout prospects entering 2025. But today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel, and Super Bowl 59 is here, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. New customers can bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. So we get started today discussing some of the Nationals' potential breakout prospects, and I have got 3 of them right here for you. So let's start off with my number one candidate. At this point in time, he is a top 10 prospect, but he has yet to take the field for any Washington Nationals affiliate, and that is 2024 second-round pick Luke Dickerson. Luke Dickerson, in my opinion, he sits here today as the Nationals' number 7 prospect, but I have him really as one of the highest ceilings in this Nationals system right now. I think with the way that it goes, it's Dylan Cruz, and then it's Travis Sakura. And then as far as ceilings go, I'd probably put Susanna just ahead of him because, again, throwing 101 miles per hour as a fastball when you're 19, 20 years old, pretty ridiculous. Then I have Luke Dickerson. I think he has got a sky-high ceiling for this Nationals team. And if you remember, he was signed to an above slot. This was a first-round talent in this year's draft. A lot of people thought he would be going up to college, but the Nationals pulled him away in that second round, giving him a $3.8 million signing bonus, the largest bonus at the first round in the bonus pool era. The Nationals, I think they may have found something with Luke Dickerson. This screams as if there is someone smart within the Washington Nationals saying that this guy is going to be a very good pro baseball player. And I think they will be hopefully correct down the road. I have not been able to lay my eyes on Luke Dickerson yet. But based on the makeup of this guy coming out of high school, a 2-sport athlete, won a state championship in hockey in New Jersey, broke Mike Trout's high school record for home runs in New Jersey. Luke Dickerson has the makeup, in my opinion, to be a 5-tool threat. He is right now listed as a shortstop that has a 55 grade power. He's got a 60 grade run. And it feels as if that this guy will be moved all around the diamond at this point. I don't think the Nationals will marry Luke Dickerson to that shortstop position. Now, with that in mind, in baseball, like, if you see someone listed as a shortstop, that's not necessarily what their position is going to be going forward. That just kind of means that they are the best athlete on the diamond. And really, if you ask any of these kids that were in high school and you're a right-handed player, you likely played shortstop at some point in time. That's just how it goes. The best athlete in high school is going to be your shortstop or center fielder. And Luke Dickerson, I don't know where he fits as far as defensively goes, but he was solid defensively over at shortstop in high school. He's got the arm. He's got the ability. He's got the range to cover ground over at short. But I think this guy moves all around the diamond. But I'm not here to hype up his defense, even though I've heard it's pretty damn good. The power ability and the running ability. That is a marriage right there that every scout in baseball is trying to find. Power and speed. Those are the two big things right now in baseball that, in my opinion, if I was a scout, that is at the top of my whiteboard. I need my guy, whoever in the draft, to have power and speed. And Luke Dickerson has plenty of both. He is a 60 grade runner, a 55 grade power tool. And even in my opinion, I think once he gets through the minors, you're going to see probably a 60 grade power tool when it's all said and done. He is my breakout guy for the Nationals this year. If I were to pick one man from this Nationals farm system to really break out and make themselves known across the baseball world, it's Luke Dickerson. This guy is mega talented, and I'm excited to see what he can do at some point this year in any affiliate, whether it's in rookie ball, low A, high A, wherever he gets put up, I'll be watching because I think Luke Dickerson has a ton of ability to be a breakout star for the Nationals. Second on this list for me, this is a name that we've talked about quite a bit. He made his professional debut then the DSL last year as a teenager at 17 years old. Angel Feliz. Angel Feliz last year, it's number right now on MLB.com. He's the Nationals number 16 prospect in the system, but I think he's easily a top 10 prospect when it's all said and done by the end of this year. And really, what they rework these rankings, you could probably see him pretty easily inside the top 10 heading into 2025. Angel Feliz, just what he did, it's pretty astounding. Like, you don't just see these kids who are 17 years old, straight from the Dominican Republic, and just completely dominate their league. Well, that's exactly what he did this last year, batting .310 with an .849 OPS in just 49 games, had 53 hits, had 9 doubles, 3 triples, and also had added 4 home runs in that. But look at his stolen base numbers. 27 stolen bases in those 49 games. And also with that in mind, 21 walks and only 36 strikeouts in those 49 games. Now, he's going against talent that are all roughly like 17, 18, 19 years old. So it's like he's in the ballpark of where he should be. And of course, when you were signed to be a pretty good prospect, he was $1.7 million signing bonus just this past year in 2024. So they had expectations for him, but he blew right by them. And when you are this young, we haven't really seen a lot of Nationals player development side of these things kind of work out in their favor. You've seen Victor Robles in years past who got up to being like a number 2 prospect in all of baseball. You've seen Juan Soto do it as well. Outside of that, the Nationals have had really bad luck. Christian Vaquero, who is like the guy back in 2020 signing class or 2021, he has not panned out yet. In fact, it has been a pretty big bust at this point, still early in his career, but we have not seen anybody really kind of take the ground and hit it running. Angel Feliz is doing exactly that at a very young age. I'm going to be really eager to see him once he gets up into Florida and he starts in the FCL, see how he gets moved over to Fredericksburg eventually, because he's going to be 18 years old all year long. The numbers that he put up this year with, again, power and extra base hit potential, stealing bases, and also playing really good defensive shortstop and third base as well. Sitting at 6'3", 185 pounds, this is going to be a very exciting kid to watch moving forward. Now, here's my big kind of question around him is, can this guy find a way to not only dominate in the FCL, but can he finally get up into Fredericksburg? Because again, if I'm the Nationals, there at some point in time, you got to put the pedal to the metal, or you got to put the metal, whatever the saying goes, you know what I'm saying. I'm interested to see how the Nationals handle this role here with him. Because again, my big knock on the Nationals over the years is they have not been able to really just kind of develop these international guys that are their own. Harleen Susano was already up in the minor system with the Padres when you got him. So, yes, they have been developing him, and he has taken big steps up within this organization. But I look at Feliz as someone who, at this point in time, could kind of just throw away all those bad development stories within the Nationals, because this kid has got what it takes, in my opinion, to really take off this year. Now, also, can the Nationals finally make this work? I'm feeling as if they can. So that's going to be really exciting as you watch him. But third of this list, who I think could have a breakout year, and who was really already having a breakout year if you look back at it, it's Jake Bennett. The Nationals 2022 second round pick out of Oklahoma. Jake Bennett in 2023 was dominant for the Nationals. Unfortunately, his season got cut short due to having Tommy John surgery, but he is expected to hit the ground running this year, be 100% healthy for camp, throwing and expected a report within the next 2 weeks. And over the course of that season in 2023, he dominated low A Fredericksburg, got all the way up to high A Wilmington, where it wasn't as dominant, but in those 9 starts in Fredericksburg, he had a 1.93 ERA, 42 innings pitched, only 34 hits given up, and also 54 strikeouts in that time frame, while also only walking 8 batters in those 9 starts. That is what I look like. That is what you want to see from any young prospect out there. Number one, pounding the strike zone, and number two, having just overall good results. Now, here's the big thing with Jake Bennett. How is he going to recover post Tommy John? Because he has got the potential to be a very good pitcher, whether it's out of the bullpen or even as a starter. And the way that the Nationals have developed left-handed pitchers over these last 2 seasons, you would like to think that Jake Bennett will be the next version of that crop of left-handed pitchers that really dominate within the National system and fly their way up through the minor league system and then eventually up into the Nationals in the next year or so. I'll be interested to see where Jake Bennett starts, number one, but also where he finishes, because this is not a finished product. And I think Jake Bennett still has all the tools of someone who could break out for the Nationals this season. So to wrap up this list, number 1, I've got Luke Dickerson. Number 2, I've got Angel Feliz. And number 3, I've got Jake Bennett. I think all 3 of these guys will have breakout seasons for your Washington Nationals. And they are certainly 3 guys that you will want to keep an eye on moving forward. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day, as we are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Next, let's talk about our new first baseman, Nathaniel Lowe, a top 10 first baseman, I may add. We'll discuss that after we tell you about our friends over at FanDuel. And Super Bowl 59 is here. 1 game, 2 teams, endless possibilities, and there's no better way to make every play more exciting than with FanDuel Sportsbook. Whether it's predicting the first touchdown, calling the MVP, or even betting on the coin toss, FanDuel makes it easy to get in on the action with live betting all game long. You can adjust your bets as the game unfolds and feel the thrill from kickoff to the final whistle. The live betting feature lets you stay involved no matter what happens on the field, and the app is super easy to navigate. Plus, knowing that you can place a $5 bet and potentially win $200 in bonus bets for the best Super Bowl, that's the icing on the cake. Download the app or head to FanDuel.com to get started. Bet just $5, and if you win, you'll score $200 in bonus bets. That is FanDuel.com. Bet with FanDuel, the official sportsbook partner of Super Bowl 59. Now we get back into it, talking about this Washington Nationals ball club. And thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day. And you can find us wherever you get your podcasts, on Apple, Spotify, and of course over on YouTube. And when you go there, hit that subscriber button. MLB.com, or MLB Network rather, ranked their top 10 first basemen. And Nathaniel Lowe ended up at number 9. Now, Nathaniel Lowe, when the Nationals acquired him this offseason, at first I was kind of like, meh, like this is a fine deal. Overall, I think Nathaniel Lowe, his numbers over the last 2 seasons have kind of fallen off just a tad bit. You've seen his exit velocities go down and down over these last 2 seasons, but this is again someone who was a relatively highly regarded player at some point. And it kind of goes to show you with the history of this. Nathaniel Lowe is one of 10 first basemen in MLB history with a Silver Slugger, a Gold Glove, and a World Series win. And he was really prominent on that Texas Rangers World Series winning team back in 2023. Now, last year, he fell off just a little bit with some of his power numbers. He had 16 home runs compared to 17 the year before that. He also had 16 doubles this last year compared to 38 in that 2023 season. Now, he had a lot more opportunities as he played in about 20 less games this past season than what he did in that World Series winning year. But are you confident that he will have a big year for the Nats? And when I mean big year, I just mean something better than what we have seen in years past. We have been haunted over at first base ever really since Josh Bell left. And before that, Ryan Zimmerman. We have not had any consistency from that position. You had Dominic Smith, who could not hit the baseball, clear as day. Last year, you had many different guys over at first base that just simply could not get the job done. And now in a premium offensive position that also is good to have good defense over there, Nathaniel Lowe has the opportunity to provide both for this Nationals team, which overall just brings consistency to the table. And he is not a free agent until 2027. Now, are you confident that Nathaniel Lowe will have that breakout? I'm not confident that he will have a huge breakout where we're talking about a Silver Slugger over there, where we are talking about a perennial just all-star over at first base. But I think I am confident that he will bring some consistency over here. One thing that I have learned in life is that beggars cannot be choosers. And at this point in time, the Nationals are beggars. We are begging for talent. We need it all around us right here and right now. This is a plus addition for this Nationals team, and there's no way around it. He's got a career 789 OPS. He's going to get the job done offensively, and also being a top 10 defensive first baseman, maybe even a top 5 defensive first baseman in all of baseball. Nathaniel Lowe is going to help this team. And looking around the infield right now, 2 years ago, one of the slept-on headlines for the Nationals in 2023, in my opinion, was the defense that Dominic Smith provided. Not only did it help out the pitching staff and just being better overall defensively, but it helped out C.J. Abrams, who's trying to get his feet wet up in the majors. It helped out Luis Garcia Jr., who was being okay over at second base, but he saved a lot of throwing errors from those two guys. And then also over at third base with Candelario. Now, third base this year, the middle infield is going to be the same with Abrams and as well as Garcia. Brady House is expected to make his debut at some point this year. There will be some growing errors over there. But Nathaniel Lowe, being a veteran over at first base, who has won a Gold Glove, who has won a World Series, and knows what it's like to win at any given moment, this is going to be a big addition for this team, and also just overall for the clubhouse. I want to see how the Nationals handle this, though. When there is some turmoil within Nathaniel Lowe's plays, because we will see that. Inconsistencies have battled his career so far today. When he does get through that rough patch, I don't want to see them move off him. You are married to this position right now. You have to have Nathaniel Lowe work out. And again, you didn't really give up much to get him. You gave up Robert Garcia, which he's a good pitcher, but he's not all that good, for just being honest. I thought the Nationals clearly won that trade, getting a potential Gold Glove / Silver Slugger over at first base. But this position has been haunted for the Nationals for the last few seasons. You have not had any good production from this first base position outside of Dominic Smith having good defense in 2023. Josh Bell was good, who was also back with the Nationals, but he was not good defensively, and there's a lot of inconsistencies with him as well with the Nationals. I think we have finally found that rock. He's not going to be some all-star kind of guy who's in the MVP conversation, who's going to hit 40-plus home runs. That's what I would have wanted, But that's just not going to happen at this point. But with that in mind, I do think Nathaniel Lowe will be above average defensively, that's for sure, and also offensively speaking in that picture also. I'm excited for Nathaniel Lowe. I think he could have a pretty big year for the Nationals in 2025. Now, it's just a matter of this. The Nationals have to stay consistent with it. And oh, by the way, maybe try to extend the guy over the next upcoming months. So thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Next, we are less than 2 weeks away from spring training. We'll discuss that after this. Thank you all for making Locked On Nationals your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. Everybody, 13 days. You might be wondering, what is 13 days? That is February 12th when the Nationals pitchers and catchers have their first workout. You will be seeing Keibert Ruiz. You will be seeing Mackenzie Gore. You will be seeing Cade Cavalli. You will be seeing all the guys that you want to see working out in less than 2 weeks. And by the way, it was 60 degrees yesterday here in DC. A beautiful day, I might add. And we have baseball in the air. It's so close. And again, you might be wondering, well, what's the point of this topic? Just get excited for baseball. And again, when you come around this time of year for DC in particular, it's like either really cold or it's bizarrely hot. Like you'll get like weird days where it's like 75 degrees in February and you're like, oh my God, we are so close to sitting out here, eating a hot dog and drinking a beer over at Nationals Park, seeing all these guys take the field. And how exciting is that? We all think of that all the time. At least I do. But still at this point in time, we are so close to watching Major League Baseball here in DC. It just feels like the time to be alive. So with that in mind, pitchers and catchers report for their first workout on February 12th. And then just shortly after that, Tuesday, February 18th is when the first full team workout. And that is when you'll finally start to see all these guys come in the door, seeing all the headlines, seeing all the beat reporters go down to West Palm Beach and see what this team can do. Because again, this is going to be an exciting time. Whether we like it or not, I've bashed the Nationals a lot this offseason. A lot. I expected a big star kind of player to enter this building. We did not get that. That is disappointing. Regardless of what you say, I don't care what you say about the Masson deal. It does not matter. You should have had a star in this building. But still, even with that in mind, the Nationals do have a chance to compete. In being just at the tip of the iceberg of that conversation is exciting nonetheless. Now, at this point, I don't necessarily expect the Nationals to be very competitive this year, unfortunately, but they do have a chance. A lot of things have to happen. We will lay the groundwork over these next few weeks. But as we get closer and closer to spring training, you got to feel a little bit more excited about what's to come moving forward. So this will be an exciting next few weeks as we get pitchers and catchers reporting. You're going to start seeing baseballs flying around the diamond in West Palm Beach, and I can't wait for it. So thank you all for making Locked On Nats your first listen every single day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Have a good one. Go Nats.